Meet your hosts, two CEOs making a difference, Dr. Stephanie Wall and Hope Jackson. Her story, our story, 1 hour of power. Did you know there's a huge disconnect between what we want and what we go after? As women, sometimes we feel unfulfilled and confused about our purpose. And these are just some of the reasons why we created Her Story, Our Story, 1 hour of power, so that we could connect with other like-minded women from all over the world. So if you are ready to finally feel empowered enough to change your life, come on and join us at Her Story, Our Story. Do you have a story of transformation, of empowerment, of change, of growth? We would love to interview you. Be our guest on Her Story, Our Story, 1 hour of power.
So, I like to call it own your story. Own your story, because I think the most defeating and the most dangerous thing that happens to many of us is that we have this story. So we can do one or two things with our story. It's our story. It's our truth. When you get on the other side of it, if you do, because some people can get on the other side of it, or they think they're on the other side of it by obtaining things, positions, power, money.
Yeah.
But if you don't own that story and whatever effects it had on you, you don't speak it out loud, release it, because some people need to release the story, because your story does not define you. Your story you are who you are based on those experiences, but it doesn't define who you are in that moment. And even today, who I am today will not be who I am tomorrow or next week or next year. But until I own my story, Stephanie, this happened, as Tony Robbins says, this happened, not to you, but for you. And it sounds so cliche. I hate to say it, but I love it. There's no losses. There's just lessons. And if you learn the lesson, then right, I want to learn the lesson. There's a lesson in it. Welcome to Her Story, Our Story, 1 hour of power. The Dr. Stephanie Wall here. So listen, today's gonna be a very interesting session. Very interesting. I want to show you all this. And I'm gonna leave this up because I want you to take a look at it, because many of us operate as if we have a timer. We operate as if everything is a rush. We operate as if life will be over as we know it if we don't get everything done today. My name is Stephanie, and I am that girl. Now I'm going to keep this, what they call the sand timer going, because I want you all to see just how much time that it has on here. In our mind, we think everything is a rush. Well, today's topic, we're talking about burnout. And why, you say, Stephanie, are you talking about burnout, Dr. Steph? My name is Stephanie, and not once, not twice, but in my lifetime as an adult, and if I dare to say, maybe even as a teenager, I experienced burnout. If you've ever experienced burnout in your life, whether you're watching now or you're watching the replay later, I want you to type burnout. I want you to type burnout in the chat. You see the time? Look, my time is up. But time was ticking on away. So I want, hey. So I want you all, I want to tell you a little bit. I'm going to give you a little brief story. Then I'm going to give you some data. But I want you all to notice that I've left a little thing scrolling at the bottom that says that look, look at all the millionaires. 21,951 millionaires in the United States. And I'm going to give you all, there's another statistic that I have got to show you, because I said this is so interesting before I give you the story. Because oftentimes everyone talks about, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. And I don't know how much money you made in your lifetime, but add it up. But if for the last 10 years you brought home at least $100,000 a year for 10 years, but then my friends, you have earned $1 million in your lifetime in the last 10 years. So I just want to put that perspective in your head, because I just wanted to make that number real for everyone. And there's another thing I want to make real for you. Some of you, and hey, whoever's watching, wherever you're watching, please go ahead and put your comments in the comment section so I can see you and know you're here. So if you're here with me, just say here. But I want to tell you that in some places, including where I live here in Maryland, there's homes, obviously there's $1 million homes. But if you live in a home and the home costs you $600,000, $700,000 over whatever time period, 30, 40 years, your mortgage or whatever. But if the home is $600,000 to $700,000, my friend, your house, you're just $300,000 or $400,000 shy of $1 million home. So I just want to just keep it in perspective. But that is not that's not what I came to talk to you about. I came to talk to you about burnout, because you all have seen, I want to say it was an illustration, and I think I'm going to find that illustration at some point, but it talks about, at once upon a time, it's an illustration that shows us this man, he's chasing his dreams. But then after a while, he catches up with his dream, and after a while, he starts working. After a while, you see he's chasing the money. And after a while, he's chasing the money. And while he's chasing the money, life is passing him by. Why did I tell you all that story? I tell you that because in our lifetime, right now, many of us, and particularly since COVID, there are more people that are millionaires in the United States since 2020. I think they said it's increased by 33%. That is crazy. But what does that have to do with burnout? The number one problem, according to Trevor Ott, the number one problem facing entrepreneurs in the U.S. particularly, but overall, is our addiction to our labor. If you are seeking to be an entrepreneur, we are doing, trying to show up everywhere. My name is Stephanie, and over the pandemic, all of us, when we're launching our businesses, we were told to be visible, show up on social media, create these YouTube pages, and create this and create that. And we're just showing up and showing. And much as you love it, it takes work. And we've been showing up, hopefully she is able to come on today, but even her schedule is very busy like mine. But in order to show up and give you guys this content week after week after week, and we've been doing it now for 3 years. The easy part is to watch it. The hard part is to make sure that it keeps going on. Even week after week, even this week, there was a scheduled guest. The scheduled guest for this week, she and I were going to talk about this topic, and others. But she lives in a different time zone, and so it would be 8:00 p.m. her time. So we decided, well, I'm going to record her at a later date so you all can hear from this millennial who's doing amazing things in Texas. But this is what I want you all to know. I want to talk about some signs, some key signs that you're experiencing right now. And why do I know? I'm not just telling you about something I heard about, something I researched, even though I love to read, and although I researched in all of this, and where I've read tons of things on it, and where I've even talked to my own therapist about it, I am talking to you about something that I've experienced. Many of you watching it right now, you are going through it right now. You know someone that's going through it, or you've been through it yourself before. And if you're on the fast track and you are addicted to your labor and you're trying to do everything, you're trying to show up as a wife, you're trying to show up as a mother, you're trying to show up as an executive, you're trying to show up as a church leader, you're trying to show up as a CEO, you're trying to show up as a whatever. And I mean, you're just trying to show up in all these spaces. And you're trying to be the best in all those spaces. And you're helping other people build their dreams. But you are not taking care of yourself. You are going to burn out. So let's just talk about some of these signs. And this is some of the things that I've experienced. And just when I say talk about feeling exhausted, so I'm not talking about just being a little bit tired. I'm talking about you are so tired that you want to cry. You are so tired you might have cried. You are so tired that you are the equivalent. They say when you're tired, when you are just a little bit tired, when you're driving, is the equivalent of being intoxicated. If you blinked when you're driving, if you've had to pull over, shaking your head, or get some coffee because you're afraid you're going to fall asleep at the wheel, you are exhausted. If you keep hitting that button beyond what you've done in the past, and you keep hitting that button, and when the alarm goes off, you are exhausted. If you are irritable, you know how they say if you're hangry, well, you're not hangry, you're tired angry. You're tired. You're exhausted. There is such thing as working yourself to death. It's working yourself to death, and it has everything to do with stress. Stress is terrible for our bodies. Stress causes all cardiovascular damage to us. Stress causes heart attacks and strokes. Stress causes us to eat, which causes obesity, which in turn affects our heart and our minds and just our overall health. See, it just doesn't work for us, folks. It doesn't work. What do you do? When do you know, and have you ever experienced burnout? If you experienced burnout, please share and let me know, have you ever experienced it, and what do you do to help you with it? Another sign, trouble concentrating. You have trouble concentrating. You're sitting down and you're doing this half the day. I just cannot get my mind wrapped around. I just cannot wrap my head. You can't think. You don't know if you're coming or going half of the time. I had to explain to someone even just a couple of days ago that I was so tired that I felt like I was just walking around in circles. You ever just be so overwhelmed and you're so busy and got so many tasks or so many things on your plate that you don't, was like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know. Have you ever had so many things on your plate that you are like, I think I'm going to need to take some time off. Listen, if you haven't taken any time off, because we call it self-wellness, what's the health and wellness day? Take some time, but we'll get to the things I want you to do. But right now I want to make sure that I cover the things that these key signs of burnout. So we said feeling exhausted. We talked about that. Trouble concentrating. And with those two things alone, you are going to be irritable. You won't like yourself. You're going to show up in places. And my name is Stephanie, and I've done it. You are short with people. If you're unsure if this is you, ask somebody. Say, hey, I'm sure, listen, I got my little thing here. They're going to give you, look, ask them if you need a thumbs up or if your attitude is a thumbs up, or a thumbs down. Ask the people. They'll tell you. They will tell you if you're showing up in those spaces and you are being angry or you are being short, or if you're coming for people, as we like to say, really a lot more than you typically do. Sleep, not getting enough rest. Now listen, stress contributes and causes other health concerns, and other health concerns can also lead to you not getting enough rest. My sister was explaining to us, because she's living with MS, with multiple sclerosis, and the beginning stages, and she was explaining to my other sisters and I that one of the things that I guess, one of the things that made her recognize that she needed to go see a doctor, and one of the things that she suffers with as a result of her MS is her inability sometimes to sleep, and she can't get rest. So can you imagine? And she's a leader in where she works and she supervises. So can you imagine if she's overwhelmed, she's stressed out, and she's trying to live, she's dealing with the MS? That is a lot, people. Listen, remember, everything you do affects everything that you do. You still have to show up in spaces and places and be the most amazing you. But we have got to learn how to dial it back. I'm talking to you and I'm talking to me. This ain't just about you, but it is about us. So remember, we got to get enough rest. This is the biggie. This is the big one, y'all. We stop taking care of ourselves. You said, what do you mean by stop taking care of yourself? Well, I will tell you that when I'm tired and when I'm overwhelmed and when I'm burned out, the first thing to go on the to-do list of my everyday to-do list that goes off, the check off list that just gets put on the wayside, which it shouldn't. Now, I'm telling you, shouldn't. It's exercise, healthy eating, and rest, and good times and fun things, because I'm so focused on work and getting that task done that everything else gets put on the side. I don't get enough sleep. You don't get enough sleep. Think about the last time that you were working on a project, whether it be for yourself, your organization, or your own business, and think about how much rest you got when you're working on it. Think about how much family time you put off because you're working on that. Think about how your eating habits were. During the pandemic, they say the pandemic 20, I say the pandemic 40, because baby, listen, we were stressed. And so we were home eating. And then this is another thing. We were not only home eating, but we were home creating and launching businesses, which was adding to our stress. Adding to our stress. There was another quote by the great Trevor Otts that I wanted to share with you all, and it's also a principle. And this is it. You can start a business with your own labor, but you don't build it or sustain it with your own labor. Remember, I already told you that Trevor Ott said the number one problem facing entrepreneurs is our addiction to our labor. You know, I know there's some businesses that you have to be, when you first started, so first start a business, if you are a baker, when you first started, you launched your business as making the cupcakes or the pies or whatever, you had to make those cakes and pies. But as you grew, then you should have a team of people. And, you know, any great business, you know when it's working well, when it no longer requires you to do the work. Now, I know there's some things that you always want to, you might want to still be involved, but the deal is you want to be, just you're not required to be. So we can start a business with our own labor, but you don't build it or sustain it with it. My girlfriend Gloria Banks says that we must master the new. And I'm going to go ahead and submit to you that I think that one of our biggest problems is that we chasing shiny things. We're running around chasing shiny things. And I'm going to go ahead and give myself a 100 on that, because I know it. You ain't got to tell me that's not a fireball, because I know it's a fireball. We run around chasing shiny things. Every time something is glittering, it's not gold, but we're chasing it. Oh my gosh, new thing, TikTok, new thing, Snapchat, new. Well, not new, but you know, I'm just giving an example. New thing. We are chasing it. New thing, new person. We've got to master the new. I'm going to go ahead and put this out here right now. I am an entrepreneur. I am also a full-time employee, and I love what I do for a living. I also love what I do is being self-employed. I also volunteer and serve, and so do you. Many of you are watching me. Hello, hello, hello there. Many of you are watching right now. And I'm telling you, I just need you. Look, we have a community, and it's called the 1 Million Lives Transform. I encourage you to go ahead and join our community if you're so inclined. But I do, and I hope, because that's a lot of things. I give you guys a lot of information, but you won't get as much information. We'd be here all night if I tried to give you all the information. What I'll do is I'll put the information here, and I will also later on put it in the chat. But you can join our group there. It's a free group. It's a free community for anyone that wants to join it. But let me just tell you this. The one I know for a fact that most people, when you think of being having your own business, I have my own business, I want to be an entrepreneur, we think it's something glitzy and glamoury, and everybody's all excited because they get to say, I got my own business. But let me tell you a few things about when you are in business. So in case you don't know, for those that don't know it now, all y'all, I know I'm not talking to you all. Like the pastor say, I know I'm not talking to any of you all. I'm talking to the other people. But let me just tell you, this is for the folks that don't know. Having a business or being an entrepreneur is more than having a brand name, a website, a funnel, a logo, and getting your name from your state. So you got your name of your business. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have to do all the legal stuff, right? You got to pay taxes every year. Now, for nonprofits, this is another road, but that's a whole nother talk show. You got to pay taxes. You have to have a mechanism in place. There's an expectation that you have certain tools in place. You have to you have to have some reporting things in place. You absolutely have to be consistent with your services. You have to show up in places. You have to market. Don't worry about the market being saturated and doing what you do. But another one of the Trevor Ott's, Black CEO, he talks about the fact that price only becomes an issue in absence of basically a great product or a great service. I'm going to encourage you all to just let me be the first one to say, it ain't nothing wrong with a job, you all, a career. I've amazing careers, and I'm grateful for them. But if you have something that just in your heart and you want to serve the world, because our gifts is another principle. Our gifts, gifts, talents, and abilities are made to serve others and to provide for us. Another TO quote. Our gifts are made to serve others and to provide for us. I'm hoping that you all, and I'm going to get back here. I'm going to get back here again because I don't want to miss these points here. All right, so key signs of burnout. Feeling exhausted, trouble concentrating, feeling irritable or anxious, not getting enough rest, and you're not taking care of yourself. Here are a few tips, because I want to make sure we do not leave here without those tips, because I have stories. I have stories of burnout. And let me just tell you one, which is a biggie for me. For me, because I'm a go girl. Okay? When I get burned out on time, I am physically exhausted to the point you cannot rise out of the bed. The body will shut down if you won't. So tips to prevent this type of burnout. One, set some boundaries between work and personal time. And I have a book that I like to share, and I've been sharing it. I don't get any royalties or anything like this, but I love the book. And it's called, I've been giving them out. I give them out to a couple of young ladies at our job. I read it for myself. And it's called Set Boundaries, Find Peace, A Guide to Reclaiming Yourself by Nidra Glover Tawwab, Tawwab. I encourage you to get this book. And this is the author, I encourage you to get this book. This book is everything. This book is for us go people. We know us people that keep forgetting to have boundaries, keep forgetting to set boundaries. This book is for us. All right, so we're going to set some boundaries between work and personal time. I don't have my phone here, but I will tell you that I had to set the timer on my phone so that my phone, all of a sudden, my iPhone will go like, almost like the bedtime rhyme song comes on. It lets me know that a certain time of the night, it's time to shut it down. I had to schedule shutdown. I know. Come on, people. Dr. Steph, had to schedule a shutdown, and so do you. Boundaries. Delegate or outsource tasks you can't or don't want to do. Example, if you can afford it and your schedule is so super busy, but it's okay if it means that you have to pay someone to clean your house, do your laundry, do some of the work for your business, whether it be get a virtual assistant, someone do your marketing for you, someone, whatever, pay. There's somebody that know how to do everything. Doggone it, people can do your social media for you, okay? There's apps for it. You didn't got to pay for it. There's apps, but pay somebody. Get boundaries, but delegate or outsource your tasks so that you can't do or you don't want to do. Again, do not be addicted to your labor. My name is Stephanie, and I was addicted to my labor. I got, certain things I want to put. I want to make my own newsletter. And got good at it. But they're time consuming. I was spending so much time building my business because it's work. It is work, and it is money, and it is time. You are not going to be, if you are not willing to invest time, money, and resources, please do not launch a business. Time, money, and resource. It takes all of those. You Google it, research it. It takes the first 5 years, I'm telling you right now, you on grind. Yes, there are people that just launch right out there and they're making money head over heels. But I'm going to tell you, the average entrepreneur, they say that particularly even nonprofits and or small businesses don't make it in the first 5 years. And you know why? Because the first 5 years, you are grinding. And some people, they want to get to the mountaintop, but they're not willing to climb. They're not really willing to do the work. They didn't realize it was that much work. But baby, it's so sweet if you just hang in there. I'm still climbing, but I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. Make time for yourself each day to do something you enjoy outside of work. Okay, so now look, and I'm sorry, it's like my nose itching. There is, I'm going to keep showing this book because this book is important. Boundaries, you all. Boundaries. Again, set boundaries, find peace, a guide to reclaiming yourself by Nidra Glover Tawab. Now, what do I do? What do you do, Dr. Steph? I know you guys can see, you can see my candle burning back there. I have a candle burning. I have soft music going. I absolutely, as soon I set my clock to wake up earlier, at least 30 minutes earlier than I normally would, on purpose, so that I could do a couple of things. Now, you may do something different. This is what works for me. But I promise you, your body needs this. Research it. It's just not mumbo jumbo. It's me telling you the facts. And that is this. I get up so that I can, do a 15 to 20 minutes. Sometimes it's 10 minutes because you can do 10 minutes meditation, just quiet. If you get up early in the morning before the world gets up, like anywhere before 6 o'clock, it's nice and quiet. Get up, sit up, take some deep breaths, blow them out. Use YouTube. If you go on to our community, you will see that there's all kinds. There's a whole meditation. Whole meditation section, and in that section, there is videos that we put up for that. So go on there and pick your meditation. After which, I'm a person of faith, so I set my timer and I have a set amount of time that I want to just meditate on the word. I want to kind of set my day, and that's how I do it. And then, which I had to schedule it, people. I had to schedule it into my time because I wasn't doing it and it was affecting me. I was having so much stress on me. I was gaining weight. I was feeling uncomfortable. I was just becoming ill. So for me, I set a timer on my phone for 30 minutes and I don't stop moving for 30 minutes. So that I let the dog out, and while the dog is out, I'm going to stand up. I may be doing leg lifts. Right? I know you all can't be back because you can't see my face. But yeah, so I got some leggings. I may be doing leg lifts. I may be doing this. I may be doing this, but I don't stop moving for 30 minutes. I do that, and that is my workout. And when I get those things done, and then I also have a list, I call it 10 before 10. If you do 10 things before 10, I'm telling you, there's a book, and I don't have it in here, I don't think, that was written. Oh, yep, here it is. It says, this is written by Admiral William H. McReven. He's a U.S. Navy retired. It's a #1 New York bestseller. Make your bed, little things you can do to change your life and maybe the world. I got this book some time ago. I love to read, Joe. I love it. If you ever want to get me a gift, get me a book. I love books. And what does it say on the back here? I'll tell you. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task and another and another. By the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will reinforce the fact that little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you will never do the big things right. And it says, this was from the Admiral McReven's University of Texas commencement speech. I love this book. I encourage you to get it. That's what it looks like. Great book, but he talks about making that bed. And so that's the first thing I do is make my bed when I get out of it. My day is not set unless I make my bed. And I have a check, and I'm a check off girl. I want to check off things, and that is how I'm able to make it through the day. So let me get back. If me stay on task, I'm going to stay on task. Okay. Number 4, connect with other entrepreneurs or business owners who understand what you're going through. I'm going to say this. There's somebody's not going to be liking it. Don't be writing me. Don't be putting no comments in here about this craziness, because it's the truth. If you don't like it, so be it. I'm sorry. But this is the fact. My good girlfriend Gloria did a story on this as well. Y'all stop taking advice from people you wouldn't want to trade places with. Stop just being coached by any old coach. Stop getting the tea from running around chasing and listening to the people that's bringing you the tea, instead hook up with them people that can empower you, that can bring you, can lift you up, that can pour into you. Listen, if somebody bringing you the tea, they're taking the tea. My mama used to say, if they bring a bone, they're going to carry one. If they come to you talking about somebody, they're talking about you to somebody else. So I'm just saying, spend your time wisely. Your time is so valuable. In 2020, ladies and gentlemen, I lost more people in my family and in my circle than I can even count. It has it's overwhelming to think about the amount of people that we've lost, some to illness, some to tragedy. 2 nephews, one on each side of my family, were murdered. This let me know that life is super, super short. We don't know when our expiration date is. We don't know when we're going to be out here, but we're not going to spend our time wasting time. We're not going to spend our time doing those things that we cannot go back and get that time back, folks. Make time for the things that are important in your life. Make time to connect with other entrepreneurs and business owners who understand what you're going through so they can help you to not see something that's a mountain when in fact it's a molehill. They can help you to avoid some mistakes and some pitfalls. Listen, I would love to work with you. It's my job. I will tell you and share with you every little thing. Somebody blessed me with a lot of little templates and different things to help me along the way. And I certainly am doing the same thing with my clients and my friends. I remember, I don't know if you guys know, I'm a retired commander from law enforcement. And I remember when I became a sergeant, another sergeant, a really great guy, he gave me, when my first shift out there by myself, he was like, okay, I know you're new. He gave me like a thumb drive. But somebody gave him the cheat sheet, and he gave me he made sure I had it too. So you, as Patty LaBelle says, pass the blessing on. Pass the blessing on. So our time is up. You see, it's up. But I want you to connect with others. This is important. So through group, through community, connect with other like-minded people. Do not be over there talking to your family and talking to people that have never done what you're trying to do about what you're trying to do. That's not their dream. They don't understand it. They can't help you. Now, let's say give you some do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, di, do. Now, take their pesos. All right, let's see here. Seek professional help if you're struggling to manage your stress or anxiety. I can't say this enough. I know in the community, we have a stigma sometimes attached to therapy. I'm going to tell you that is a big mistake. I think every human being should go and download that stuff that we've been uploading for years. Because what's happening, we've uploaded so much stuff. And oftentimes we project that garbage or that bad stuff on other people that weren't the ones that caused the pain. So we have to have an outlet. Because how many of you know that trauma unresolved will show back up and wreck your life? Ladies and gentlemen, you have to go talk to someone. So I encourage you to just go to someone. And look, you may think it's a waste of time, but listen, many of you, if you have insurance, your insurance pays for it. Try it. If you experience trauma in your life, I encourage you to go to see a therapist. You can do individual therapy. You can do group therapy. And let me just say that a coach is not a therapist unless they are a licensed medical professional. They are not a therapist. But they can help. Therapists help you with one thing. Their job is to listen and to kind of tell you what to do. A coach is there to help you and guide you and to teach you how to fish. So I'm just going to encourage you to stay on the right track. All right. So I told you all a lot. I said a lot here. And if there's something you want to do, if you want to work with me, if you want to be coached by me, if you're an entrepreneur and you are stressed and you are burnt out or you are on your way to being burnt out, if you are addicted to your labor, come on and get this free 20-minute discovery session where we can go ahead and process what you are going through. Because we don't want you to be addicted to your labor. So there's some other statistical data that I thought that you all will be interested in. All right, I've already told you about this 21,951 million millionaires in the U.S. There is 39.1% of the world's total number of millionaires are. We are 39.1% of the world's total number of millionaires in the United States. Now, you're going to love this, you all. New Jersey has the highest in the United States. New Jersey has the greatest amount of millionaires, according to the Zippia research, ZIPPIA research. New Jersey is 9.76. Only the first and second is Maryland, 9.72. And on average, the world's 100% richest individuals earned their first million at the age of 37. So I want you all to know, do not think you're too young. 37. I wish I was a millionaire at 37. 8.8% of adults are millionaires in the United States. 8.8%. But again, I want to say, if you make $100,000 or more a year, and you made that amount, you brought home that amount for the last 10 years, you have earned in excess of $1 million. I just wanted to just kind of put that out there for each and every one of you. Let me do this here. And I'm going to recap, just to recap really quickly, and then we're going to call it a day. And that is this. Okay. These are the signs of burnout. That you're feeling exhausted all the time. You have trouble connecting. You have trouble concentrating. And if it's extreme, I encourage you, please, to go see a doctor about this thing. You know, doctors have therapists and then your general practitioner, because there may be something else going on. Feeling irritable or anxious, like all of the time. Not getting enough rest. If you're not getting your sleep, these other things are going to occur. Feeling irritable and being trouble concentrating. If you do those things, you probably will start taking care of yourself. If you're not sure, ask someone else. Take a picture of yourself. Ask your family. Here are a few tips to prevent burnout. Set some boundaries between work and personal time. So you gotta, and listen, I'm guilty of it. My name is Stephanie, and I'm guilty of it often. So you have to shut down this, whether you can set a clock, 8 o'clock, or once you come home, or during dinner, you don't have your phone there, or when you are watching television, the rule is no phones, no computer, whatever it is, do what you need to do. Delegate or outsource tasks you can't or don't want to do. Make time for yourself each day and do something you enjoy outside of work. Connect with other entrepreneurs or business owners who understand what you're going through. And remember, you can start a business with your own labor, but you don't build or sustain it with that labor, says Trevor Oz. So it has been an amazing day. And I thank you all for all that you do. I'm going to put up here again. We would love for you to join our community, 1 Million Lives Transformed. It's a community for women, particularly, and what we call Mission Brand New You. In that community, we got everything from a book club where we have resources. There is a little bit of everyone in that group. So you may be looking for someone to help with branding. You may be a speaker. You may be an author. You may have written a book and you don't know how to move it. You may need coaching. You may just need a community, some like-minded people. You might be a career woman. You might be someone who's trying to figure out how to get to the C-suite. You may be figuring out how to navigate the C-suite. These people that you're looking for in this group. So come on in. And again, this has been Dr. Stephanie Wall. And today we talked about burnout. So if you are someone who has said, I want to start a business, I'm going to leave this 9 to 5, I encourage you to do the research and to look at what you're really running from. If you're running from something or if you're really running to something. And then I want you to look at, for those of you that say, oh my gosh, I started this business, I ain't signed up for all of this. Maybe it's burnout. Maybe it's time for you to stop being addicted to your labor. And if you are someone that says, I need to know more about this entrepreneurship, whatever your question is, I encourage you to master the new. My mentor, Trevor, tells me and tells all of us that every single day, you should spend at minimum 12 minutes learning something new, something that is frustrating you that you need to know how to do. If it's something that you would do, your life would be so much easier if you knew how to do yourself, whether it be taxes or whatever. Learn something new. Many of us are on virtual platforms now, and you may be frustrated with your virtual platform. You may want to be on YouTube. You may be on YouTube, or you may be on Zoom. Whatever it is, You may need StreamYard. You may need to, whatever it is that you need to use a lot of, but you're frustrated because you don't know how to use it. YouTube University is your friend. Go there and every day for 12 minutes, keep watching a video on that one thing and don't move on to another thing until you have mastered that thing. And lastly, when we learn something new, the fastest and the best way to learn how to do it is to teach someone else. So everything I've shared with you today, I encourage you to hit the share button and to subscribe. Hit that bell. Hit the bell so that you'll know whenever we're going live. There's all kinds of things here. Our channel is going to be growing and changing. We're tweaking it. But I want you to be here and to get all we have every week. There's going to be some, there's usually, well, you may see Hope and I, or there's also a guest. So there's so many awesome guests that are coming up in the next few weeks. So next week and the week after next and the week after next, the schedule is packed. If you are a speaker and you have a story, or you have a story to tell of your triumphs, this is called Her Story, Our Story, 1 Hour of Power. So if you have a story that you'd like to share, we would love to interview you. So just go ahead and we'll put in, and you just come on. Let me see here. I'm going to put in here. That is the link right there. If you want to know more, if you want to schedule, if you want to be on our show, just go ahead and click on that link or put that in your browser and schedule. It costs you nothing to come and share your story, because every one of us has a story. And you've heard it said so many different ways, but your story is absolutely somebody else's pain medicine. Don't hold your story to yourself, because sometimes our story that's inside is like acid inside of a container. The acid does more harm to the container that it's inside of than to something else outside of it. So let the story go so that you can free yourself. All right, it's been Dr. Stephanie Wall. And as Lisa Nichols says, shine your light. Shine your light so bright, because like me, your light is your blessing to the world. I believe that my light is the blessing to the world. And when I don't shine my light, it doesn't land on the intended targets. And when it doesn't land on the intended target, then they miss their blessing that they were supposed to get, and they could only get from my light or your light. So shine your light, be a blessing, peace and blessings. And we will leave out of here with a quick commercial, but have a wonderful day.
Hi, I'm Sharon Allen. And since I began my journey with Speaker Stephanie, the transformation architect and also known as the Tower of Power, I've gained so much more confidence. I've also been able to help other women with their life challenges, such as feeling stuck, divorce, and even loss. So if you want to increase your visibility or grow your business or even your confidence using your voice, I highly recommend that you use and work with Stephanie, because she is awesome and she is the best of the best. I mean, great beyond words.